Hi, my name's Tom Elliott and welcome to another financial markets update for Hodges Real Estate. Well, it's fair to say that over the last month, financial markets around the globe have been very volatile. The reason, of course, is the performance of the Chinese economy or lack thereof. Now, for years now, China has been the major shining bright light for Australia's economy. China's been buying the bulk of our resource exports. China has provided a lot of money that's been pumped into the local property market. Growth in the Chinese economy has meant that the Australian economy has performed extraordinarily well. Unfortunately, in the last few weeks, that appears to have changed. Three things happened. The first of these was not one, but two surprise devaluations of the Chinese currency, the yuan. Now, the reason the government tries to devalue its currency is to improve its exports and curb its imports. This was taken by our markets as a sign that the Chinese economy had weakened. Secondly, and just as importantly, the Chinese central bank, guided by the Chinese government, decided to cut interest rates there. And again, this was probably an attempt to try and stimulate the local economy. So you've got the Chinese currency being devalued twice, Chinese interest rates being cut. All this says to me that the Chinese economy is not as strong as it used to be, and certainly not even as strong as perhaps we had been hoping for. Perhaps unsurprisingly, equity markets took a real hammering during August. At one stage, from peak to trough during the month, Australian shares were down 12%, although something of a relief rally has emerged in the last few days and losses have been curbed. Shares, of course, around the globe were down everywhere. Where you look in Europe or the US, particularly in Asia, the Chinese market down double-digit percentages, equities have taken a hit. Another thing that's taken a hit has been the Australian dollar. It began the month around 74 US cents. Right now it's just over 71 US cents. Now, this is not a bad thing for Australia, even though it means Australians will find it harder to go overseas for holidays and it might even curb some of our internet shopping habits. The fact is, a lower dollar is good for our export sector, and that's probably one of the reasons that our share market has started to rebound. Iron ore prices are very low. Oil prices are low as well. This is good news for motorists, although the effect on petrol prices is tempered somewhat by the fall in the Australian dollar, which I mentioned earlier. Tax has also been in the news recently. Now, Joe Hockey has come out and said he's very concerned about the impact of bracket creep. That means when people gradually earn more and more salary, they end up in higher tax brackets. The Treasurer says he wants to do something about it. He hasn't actually explained what, but I do wonder if he's talking about bracket creep is a smokescreen for also putting up the GST, which is being discussed with the various state premiers and treasurers at the moment. Personally, I think an increase in the GST to 15% would be a good idea. And also surprisingly, Joe Hockey has come out and suddenly said it's time to talk about a republic again. In fact, he's teamed up with a representative of the Labor Party to do just this. Again, this is not a real issue, it is a smokescreen for other things in the economy. However, the property market locally remains very strong. Clearance rates for houses close to 80%, for apartments 74–75%, combined clearance rates steady at around 77–78%. We don't quite know yet what the impact has been of all this volatility on house prices, but thus far the auctions I've seen suggest that people are still sticking their hand up and they're still bidding, which is good news for property vendors. Of course, if you're thinking about buying or selling a property, either your principal residence or as an investment, do not hesitate to contact your local Hodges office. Their assistance can only add value to the equation. For more information, go to hodges.com.au. Thank you for your company, and I'll be back at the same time next month.